Hey, good morning, boss women. How are we? So it's bright. It feels very, very early for me at the moment. I'm a little bit run down. I'm sporting this beautiful coleslaw I've got going on here. And also I'm running a little late because I wanted to go get a coffee. So I'm just going to wait for some people to jump on board. Say hi as you jump on or do a hashtag replay. So I am, hey Miriam, how are you? I'm just gonna grab my iPad one sec. I thought I would jump into my client chair. I hadn't started, Amanda. I'm running late. I'm late. But it was worth it because I wanted to go get a coffee. And I'm sitting in my own client chair this morning, which is really awesome. I've been I want to show you this too. So I'm actually running this live stream for my Badass Boss Women members. Talking about the classic cycle of motivation, the bullshit that comes around it, and why it's important for you to learn how to internally motivate yourself instead of relying on an external source to motivate you, because it's the biggest wank reason I've heard, right? 90% of the time. Cool. And this is about how to dig deeper for yourself, but I really just want to show you this. I got this footstool the other week. So with my little couch, I've been doing up part of the COVID. I've been doing up my office, and my God, it is lush. Okay, give me 1 second. Say hi as you jump on. Hey, Lauren. Just going to bring this a little closer. It's the first time I've set it up on my big light, and there we go. That's beautiful. And thank God I've got the light, because without the light, this face is a very tired face. Hey, Lauren. Hey, Loj. Good. Hey, everyone's jumping on. This is awesome. So my badass crew, I decided to run it in here because I haven't done a live stream in this free group for a while. So, hey, Maria. And yeah, I thought, why not? The more the merrier, because everybody really needs to hear it. And also, there's a lot of changes happening in the world this morning. Well, not this morning. Hey, Michelle. There's a lot of changes happening in the world at the moment, as there has been for the last 2-3 months. And what you would have learned about yourself if you decided to inquire with self is a lot of things would have come to surface. So if I just give like a brief example of what happened for me. So when all this pandemic stuff happened, and please feel free just to share like something that you learned, maybe a challenge that you went through, something that you're coming out better because of the pandemic. Like there's heaps to learn if you look for it. So one of the things for me, and my clients will know this, and this is actually how Badass Boss Woman membership was born. When this happened, I've always been a gym junkie my whole life. I love the gym. It's like a grounding space for me. I love the walk to the gym, the experience, like everything. I love training around a bunch of people. I love it when like muscly men are training and I come in and I just like boss it. Feeds my ego. And so it's a whole experience for me. And I've never been one for home workouts. I was like, what a freaking waste of time, was literally the belief that I had around working out from home. So you could see how that would pose a problem for me, not knowing how long the pandemic was going to go for, but also too, like training's been my life for a really long time, right? For me to just be like, pff. So I sabotaged the shit out of myself, knowingly, for the first 2 weeks. And I was like drinking a bit of red wine. I was like, I think I did like maybe 2 workouts, 1 each week. And I was like, I'm just going to walk, but me, myself, I love muscle on myself. Like it makes my knickers wet when I have muscles and I can feel them and I can see them, right? So I was like, ugh, whatever, I'll wait till it's over. And then I was kind of found I was drinking a bit more of red wine. And then when one of my clients asked me, hey, Eliza, are you going to, are you like, do you have home workouts? And I'm forever grateful to her. There was a couple of them, but like one in particular, she'll know who she is when she's watching the video. Asked me like if I had some home workouts and stuff. And I was like, no. And I can't be fucked. No way. I'm like, oh. I've done like an online membership years ago where I did like outdoor workouts and stuff, right? Just not my jam. So, and yeah, so that happened, right? And then I was like, cool. So I've got a couple of choices at the end of 2 weeks. I started to feel a bit more like tired, like just yucky in my body because I wasn't eating as healthy. And yeah, I was just like, cool. So I've got a couple of choices, right? I've had a good time up until now, and I've been enjoying my wine and not, you know, worrying about anything. And I did focus on my business in those 2 weeks, just making sure my clients were good, like checking in with them, doing the rounds like that. So I was like, I've got two choices. Well, I've got heaps of choices, but, you know, on a broader spectrum, I can either continue doing what I'm doing and walk out of this isolation process with a less than energized state of mind, or I can actually do some work on my unconscious mind. So have a look at like, where are my beliefs that are holding me back? Hey, Sandy, good morning. Where are my beliefs that are holding me back? What kind of perception do I have around doing them? And if I want to change them or not. So this is the thing, right? It's very, and this is why self-awareness is everything. You can't, like, you need to explore yourself, so inquire within self in order to understand what needs to be shifted, right? And every single person is different, which is why it's not like a cookie cutter thing. And without self-awareness, how do you know what resonates with you more or not? And how do you know what to work with if you don't know what you're working with? Like, it's fucking nuts. Yeah? So anyway, so I decided to do some work on it, reached out to one of like my coaches, worked with my kinesiologist, and did some of my own self inner work. Hey Al, how you going? Hope to see you in Badass. I did send you the link, so I can't remember if you got back to me. So what happened, was I did some work on that. It literally took me like a week, of like digging deep, step back from social media a little bit, focused on myself. What is it that I want to change? What is it that I want to shift? And how could I create something that would support me? How could I create something that would support me and what it was that I wanted for myself? Because I'm sure there's like 95,000 other people out there that want the same thing for themselves. Hey, good morning, Marika. So that's how Badass Boss Woman membership was born. It's right. I know training like literally transforms my life. I love feeling strong because if I feel strong within myself, I always feel strong in life. So that, again, that's another thing why weight training is awesome for me. And then I have literally created this program that people are loving, and I've been doing it on my courtyard or in my lounge room, and everyone's been on a Zoom call and we've all been training live together. It's been absolutely amazing. And it's so good, even for myself, having the support while I train, and also all these women showing up to commit to train when they can. And if not, it's in this recorded membership site where they train later. And you would have seen some of my testimonials and sharing my feedback. Like, shit is going off. There's 40 women in there. They're all supporting each other. Like, it's just amazing. But that was what birthed from like going down this hill, right? So less than motivated. So not motivated at all, Eliza. Right? And I could have used some of the excuses, which I hear so much. Like, so the most common one, and I wanted to get it, I wrote literally, I started writing them and there's about 15 here. So the most common one is, I'll wait until I get into the right frame of mind. I'll wait until I'm motivated. I'm not in the right frame of mind to do that. Now, each to their own. So it really depends on what's going on in your life. So nobody really has the right to tell you yes or no. So this is for you to decide yourself. No one can actually tell you anything, by the way, because you are the CEO of your own body. You're the only person that knows you back to front. You're the only person that knows if you're telling a fib. You're the only person that knows if it's an excuse, right? People can highlight it for you, but it's your choice whether you actually take that on board or not. And so often, me included, for many years, would always take on what other people think, or always take on, that's what got me into all this self-development stuff. Lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth from a very young age. And that's what got me into all of this back when I was 20. I was feeling like that, in those times. So the thing is, you're the only one that can decide whether or not you're sitting on the excuse train or it's actually for real. So, for example, I started with a client, a new client last night. And fuck, she's amazing. I'm so excited. So, she actually, I had a conversation with her, I think 2 months ago, around what it was about doing some coaching and working with me. And she was like, yeah, look, I just need to work out my finances and just the timing, right? And that's cool. So it was like, yeah, that's cool. Awesome. So for me, it's like, yep, awesome. Trust that she'll get back to me if she wants to work with me. Yeah. And just left it at that. Right. So, I'll read the responses after. Thank you so much, guys. Everyone's putting them on there. Good morning, Amy. So yeah, and actually turns out 2 months later she did. Hey, I'm ready now, Eliza. That is someone who is very self-aware. I also know this because me too, I've done that before. It's like, I really want to work with you, but I don't know. It's just not for me right now. And I've actually gone back and worked with that person. So it is very interesting. I used to say that, when people say, if it's, and it's so much in the coaching world, I used to be one of them that would be like, if it's not, I don't even remember actually. But anyway, it's like, if you try and push them over the line to start working with you. Which I did that for a while, and it didn't go down a good path. So I found my own way, which is putting the choice in the client's hands, right? Letting them know why they called you, but also putting the choice in the client's hand, because I don't want to work with anyone that doesn't want to work with me. So if you jump onto my membership site page, you will see that I'm like, if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. Come back later. I put so much of my own attitude into that. Anyway, so let's get back onto what I was talking about. So I'll wait till I get in the right frame of mind. So there's a couple of different, sides to that. I went on a bit of a side rant with that, but I feel like it was useful because there was people who run their own business here. Nobody likes to be told what to do and pushed into something. It doesn't feel good. So when you do that with sales or when you do that with people, they can feel that energy. And if you know that you're coming from a place of pushing and force, that energy is just not good. It's not good. And there are alternate ways to do it, right? And sometimes it's about asking the right questions and also listening to the client instead of following your sales script and shit like that. So I'll wait till I get in the right frame of mind. What is the problem with that? How does that pose as a problem? Because when you're not in the right frame of mind, isn't your aim to be in the right frame of mind? Isn't your aim when you're not in the right frame of mind, generally speaking, when we have a problem, and I did a podcast on this, it was actually in the rain, so who knows if lots of people listen to it. It was you can go from problem to no problem in less than an hour. I can help somebody shift a problem in 5 minutes, right? Depending on the intensity of the problem, the length of the problem, and the stories that are around it. That's how powerful knowing yourself is and working with your unconscious mind. Yeah. And for those of you also who are jumping on this live stream, if you are interested in Badass, please just like comment below or like jump on the members link. I can send you the link separately if you want to, but you can find it in the group. And if you have any questions about it, you can post them. It's pretty easy. It's massively affordable and it's heaps of fucking fun. And there's a weekly video where I talk about topics like this as well. And this next week is all about relationship with yourself and relationship with others, which ultimately comes down to the relationship with yourself. So yeah, it's super mega beneficial and yeah, heaps of cool fun stuff to come. So when there is something that I'll stick with back with what I was talking about, so waiting to get in the right frame of mind, what is it that's not? So when you're not in the right frame of mind, what is it that you need to get into the right frame of mind? Right? Because I've heard this heaps, and more often than not, that's actually not the reason. The reason will be something else, right? The reason will be something deeper. The reason will be something that, I don't know, you'll know the reason. Say hi as you jump on, do a hashtag replay if you're listening. Thank you for joining me this morning. And we're talking about waiting to get in the right frame of mind and how most of the time that's bullshit around like waiting for motivation. Morning, Susie. Waiting for motivation. And even when you're waiting for motivation, what are you waiting for? So take it one step further. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for, I don't know, so I'll use some examples. So I'm waiting for things to calm down. What things to calm down? What are you waiting to calm down? Right? Because really, and I get this a fair bit, like from people who are busy or they run a busy life and things like that. It's just crazy busy at the moment. I'm just waiting till things calm down. Awesome. So you've obviously got a lot of stress and a lot of chaos going on in your world. What needs to calm down for you to then feel motivated? And it's about peeling it apart so you can understand it some more, right? Because this is the stories you're also telling yourself as to why you can't do the thing that you want to do. And actually it's the stress and the chaos that's going on in here that's damping your motivation to do the thing that you want to do. Does that make sense? I'll try and say that again. So, like, when we have a lot going on up here, we don't have space for anything new. AKA, if you listened and if you just joined me, morning Samantha, if you just joined me, please go back and watch my example of how Badass was born, because I totally wasn't motivated to do jack shit in the first 2 weeks of this pandemic. And yeah, like at all. So go back and listen to that. I was drinking heaps of red wine and whatever. So then I took the time to actually explore about like what's going on, what needs to change and what needs to shift. If you don't understand it, you don't know the answers to this. And also as well, it may very well be a pattern that you are running in a lot of areas of your life that is actually it might be the one thing that's stopping you get from here to here. And I see it all the time. And I talk to women about it all the time, right? And it's really interesting. As soon as I question something that comes up and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, tell me more about that. Or that's really interesting. How does that work? And I'd say 85% of the time, we always end up having a laugh about it, because it's like, oh, that's really interesting how I constructed that and how I come up with that. And then, yeah, I've been telling myself that for ages. What the fuck? Right? And I even do it with myself. But that's the most exciting and fun part about working with your unconscious mind, like using lots of different tools and techniques or resources. If you've never had an NLP session, so neuro-linguistic programming, it's about rewiring your unconscious mind. Definitely, I do offer one-offs if you ever want to experience it. You don't have to join a program. I talk heaps about it in the Badass as well. Anyway, derailing again. So, repeating what I was saying is like, when you've got noise and you've got all of this occupying your space in your mind, it like trying to do something is like, oh, it feels heavy and it feels hard and it feels challenging because you don't have the freaking mental space, let alone the emotional space, spiritual space or physical space to even be able to do that. So then you'll tell yourself, I'll wait till I get motivated, or oh, it's just not the right timing. I'll wait till things calm down, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself, right? But it's the very noise, it's the very stress, it's the very like space that it's occupying is the reason as to why, if you actually cleared that out, yeah, because a lot of what is going on in your mind is actually just like that shit is circulating. That's why like journaling, letting things out, expressing yourself, talking, communicating, can take you leaps and bounds because it's not occupying the space in your mind. It is actually like you're letting that out. Not always necessarily letting it out to somebody else, but letting it out for you to inquire within yourself about like what the hell's actually really going on. And the thing is, if you're waiting for things to calm down, you're giving your power out to others, right? Or the external world. So I'm going to wait until, I don't know, I'm going to wait until my, I'm going to wait until maybe even my kids go back to school, right? If that was one of your reasons or your stories that you said to yourself through the pandemic, yes, I understand it would have been massively challenging, right? But at the same time, what can you do in the meantime? And this is something I've been teaching the crew. Sorry, there's a fly somewhere in my office. Because I had a lot of women in Badass for the month of May that had women that meant that, that had children, that meant that they had to do like homeschooling. It's like, cool. If you don't have an hour, how long do you have? If you have 1 minute, what can you do in that 1 minute that will help yourself and support yourself during this time? It's not about what it looks like. It's not about what you think you should do, which, by the way, what you think you should do, where did that come from? Right? So and it's conditioning. It's like, I don't know, people in the public eye, like experts and things. All these programs that people do that tell you need to, I don't know, train 6 days a week and eat a specific diet to get a banging body. Well, that's fucking bullshit. I can tell you that right now. One of my women who, she will be on this video, or she has been. I'm not sure if she's still on. She lost a huge amount of centimeters around from her waistline. She was really stressed, going through lots of stuff. Her tummy looks like a completely different tummy. And how many things did she change? I think in the 4 weeks, I think she trained maybe 2 of those weeks, had a week off, and then trained 1 or 2 sessions and changed just a couple of things in the background. Absolutely huge transformation. I think it was 20 centimeters or something around from her belly. I'm not quite sure. I had another client lose 40 centimeters. I had all of these things. And how much did they change? They didn't have to go and train 6 days a week and then, follow this strict regime diet. No. What did I teach them? Teach them how to zoom out on their own lives so they can know what they need to change for themselves. And this is the power in working with coaches, and this took me a long time to learn. So I used to be a coach that would tell clients exactly what to do. Now I teach clients how to know what to do, for themselves, because they are in their body. I'm not in their body. Sorry, I've got some snot. It is freezing outside. So I'm not in their body. I'm not the CEO of their own body, but I can definitely teach you how to recognize those things, how to understand your body more in fitness, in nutrition, in I was saying, I haven't posted it yet. I've got another big emotional baggage dump post coming where I talk about being a 15-year veteran. That's how many years this year I've been in the industry coaching people. How crazy is that? How awesome is that? So many lessons along the way as well. So I would always, tell clients what to do. Hell, if I could have got the results for my clients back in the day, I definitely would have done it, which is why, looking back, like, I burnt myself out so much because I was so exhausted dishing the information and then trying to do it for them, and then taking it as personal, taking it as personal feedback if they weren't getting the results, when actually I could guarantee at least 60-70% of them weren't actioning it, and I just kept trying to work harder so that they would get a result. Anyway, really fucking warped. I feel for my younger self because I just, love people that I work with. So it's been a very big thing for me to learn not to give, not to overstep my boundary, not to give my energy and my power away, and not to, stand in my own ground and have those boundaries. So it's, and knowing my responsibility, knowing my client's responsibility. Same as everyone else on this call, actually. Think about friends that exhaust you and drain you, who've always got problems. You try to solve their problems, but they come back to you with the same problem. Stop getting involved in their problems. Stop jumping in their boat, yeah? So, I'm talking about so many topics more than motivation, but it's all relatable. So as soon as you're waiting for something in the external world in order for you to make a move, you are giving your power away, right? You are giving the control to something outside of you. Children, your work, circumstance, right? So even if it was the pandemic, so take my example, take my story as an example. If I didn't work on myself and shift my perception, and I had maybe a thought or a belief that was like, I'll wait until the pandemic is over. I'll wait until we're out of isolation. How do you think my path might have gone throughout the rest of the time? I'd still be waiting. I'll be waiting until the 22nd of June. Yeah? And in the meantime, probably still drinking red wine, and feeling shit about myself because I wasn't taking care of myself, or, I wasn't training. I wasn't not moving my body. I could have found other ways to move my body, but honestly, lunges are life for me. So, Hendrix also helped me by getting a gym set up outside, all the equipment and things. So it was about creating an environment that I would feel motivated in and working on my unconscious bullshit. Yeah. To create an environment where I was motivated, or I did feel excited, or I was more inclined to do it. Because the other option is you can force yourself to do things. And this is why a lot of the time diets, 12-week programs, everyone gets excited. Let's run through this cycle. Everyone gets excited and we're like, yes, 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 yes. And we don't even consider whether or not that would fit into our lifestyle and the impact that'll have on the other areas of our life. So we put ourselves under enormous amounts of pressure and stress to be able to adhere to something that wasn't even created for us anyway. And then we do that for 12 weeks, but we realize that, well, this is I'm fucking done with this. I need a break. There's no bigger plan. And then we push ourselves to keep going. And then when the going gets tough, we sort of just collapse with it. And we haven't really spent the time to figure out what works for us and what doesn't, because we're too busy trying to adhere to the program that's going to get you the result. Yeah? How do you know it's going to get you the result? You don't unless you give it a go, right? But this is what happens. We take something and we run with it. And also why I coach and teach differently around self-awareness and what's going to work for you and what doesn't. And there's easy ways to figure that out. And it can be so much fun and so easy to transform your body, transform your business, transform your life, your relationships, if you're willing to explore it. But if you're just done with it and you want the fucking result, what is that about? Because even when you get to the end of the result, you're going to change your goal, or you're going to shift something anyway. If I've got any questions, just post them below. I know I'm talking about a lot of different things, but it's all related to motivation. And I love giving examples of my own self because, you know, people might, and I've had this, it's like, fuck, how are you so motivated in isolation, Eliza? How are you so motivated with the pandemic? And I'm like, dude, do you know how much I worked on myself in order to be able to shift that? You don't know it because you didn't see it, but all you're doing is seeing me show up and train and do things online. And this is the thing. It's like, you know, judging a book by its cover. It looks all pretty on the outside, but you don't know the written story on the inside. Yeah? Unless you actually spend time to get to know that. Most people don't, because they just want a bloody result. And they're not willing to, like, dig deeper. And, like, you have most of the answers for yourself anyway if you're just willing to look internally. So let's just go back to giving power. I'm not sure how long I've been talking for. Shit, 28 minutes. Thank you if you're still listening. That's amazing. I obviously can talk about this topic forever. So let's just talk about relying on external sources. And also, the one last thing I want to talk about is being negatively motivated. So, you know, you see it a lot of the times. Let's talk about that one first. So you see it a lot of the times with diets, right? We get really motivated. We do like a 12-week program, for example. So there used to be this 12-week, I can't remember what it's called, like something for life, body for life or something, 12-week program. And everyone would get really motivated and they get all these results and they're awesome. And then they stop with the diet or the program and then they go back to normal life. And then they wait until they've like gotten back to a point. So they're actually like in negative. They wait until they get back to a point and then they get motivated again, right? So this becomes a strategy. So they wait, they do the thing, they lose the weight, they go back to normal life. They wait till they've got the 15 kilos, or sometimes it happens more. They get more down, more depressed, more shitty at themselves, and then they lose the belief that they can actually do it. So then they get motivated to do the 12-week thing, and the same thing happens. And it becomes a strategy of how you're running it. Yeah? The thing is, most people don't look at the bigger picture. And people who just want the result, like, got their head, like, it's you just laser focused on one thing. Yep. And then also as well, like, if you have a negatively motivated, like, if you're negatively motivated, so you wait until shit gets real bad for you to then propel yourself forward, it means that you're going to keep having that yo-yo effect throughout your life. And if you do it in one area of your life, you probably do it in more areas of your life as well. And this is very useful to know about yourself because, like, do you want to keep running it that way? Like, do you want to keep waiting till shit gets bad in order to be able to then be motivated? I wouldn't say that you would. And also, too, the biggest issue, and I just seen there, Loj, you said something about sugar, cutting my sugar, restricting yourself. I want everybody to imagine this. Man, I wish I thought about this at the start of the video. Anyway, hopefully everyone will still watch till the end. Imagine, like, we're all like free spirits. We don't like to be told what to do. We like to make choices and be empowered and feel good and inspire and motivate ourselves and all of this. Imagine, like, you're feeling good, like you're real free, you're flying, everything's going on. And then I come and, like, put you in a cage. So I lock you up. I just lock you in a room for a day. How does that feel? Right? Because this is what a lot of you do with diets. And it's like, it's really messed up. And it does take sometimes a fair bit of work to work through because you've been so used to restricting yourselves and cutting things out that it feels like it's the only option. It's the only thing that you know, I guess, how to do. But the thing is, as soon as you restrict yourself and then you keep restricting yourself, it feels like you're literally in a cage. And then imagine if I made that cage smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You'd want to get the fuck out, right? You'd want to escape. And this is what happens when you run like 12-week diets, or you run that 12-week gauntlet, but you feel so restricted that you just want to fucking break through. Right? So it's no wonder you go off the rails at the end of the diet. And then what you do is, like, you've got your body, and then slowly but surely you slip into old habits, and the same thing happens again. Like, restriction is not the answer. You can definitely look at what you're doing, but if it's to cut things out, and depends, you're going to know yes or no. But I do know a lot of people who are like, I've got to stop eating this, right? You don't have to, but you can choose to. Yeah? And giving yourself freedom around it and knowing what works for you and what doesn't also will help you around that. So, so that cage restriction, now I can't remember what I was talking about before that. And there was one other thing I wanted to cover. Man, I've talked about so many topics. I'm going to read back some of the comments, and I'm just going to do it on my iPad because this is way easier. Oh, I'm so glad so many of you joined me. I've missed doing a live stream. And so glad I've gone the days where I, when I first started making videos, I would spend so much time like making sure everything was set up good. I would never have got on a live stream with a cold sore, like never. We're talking like maybe 10 years ago. Maybe even like 6 years ago, I reckon I wouldn't have. Like when I first started studying NLP, like was definitely like next level. And that was 6 years ago, I think, maybe 5. I've got no idea of my timeline. My timeline is like, I think what happened like last year actually happened 3 years ago, and vice versa. It's really funny. So if you have any questions, can you post them below? Is there anyone that's got any questions, or I'm going to go through? I also, wanted to extend the invitation to join in the Badass Boss Woman. Loj, like, you would freaking love it. I know I'm, like, picking you out on here. But, guys, like, those of you who are interested in doing it, it's literally $50 for the month. Like, that's ridiculous. In terms of like investment wise, and you get so much out of it. And then there's a VIP version, which obviously is more expensive. That's like $200 to do for the month, and you get a one-on-one with me as well, which is for 50 minutes, and we'll smash through and highlight a heap of stuff for you. And it's just a really awesome atmosphere vibe. We've got like 40 women in there. It's like killing it. Everybody's smashing it. Like people in business, people in their relationship, people like in their body, with their food, everything. It's amazing. So the link is already in the group. So I just want to have a look at the comments. So just give me 1 second. Oh no, it's going to bring this up. How do I... Okay. Let me minimize my voice, and hopefully it doesn't make any difference or the sound there. I just want to bring up the comments. Oh, here we go. Sweet. All right. Both my businesses are online, and I'm now researching and planning a new business. Maria, what kind of businesses do you do? All good. See you guys. Oh, thanks, Sandy. It is amazing, isn't it? And I'm totally going to like toot my own horn. It's absolutely epic. And also because I understand I understand you guys because I went there myself, right? Maria, let me know your businesses. Life is short and every day matters. I learned to really simplify my life and start clearing out things that don't serve me. Yeah, awesome, Miriam. Cool, Susie. We'll see you later. Oh, I'm glad it's resonating, Michelle. Now I need to get back cutting my sugar, but finding it harder. Yeah, about my gut, certain foods. Yep. And like in terms of your gut, Loj, like 100% will be related to stress, and like this is a whole nother freaking live stream, but I'm going to wrap this up in a second because I want to journal and finish my coffee. It's getting cold. So 100% that stress is going to have a big part to it, but there's also a lot of like emotional stress. Everybody's feeling a lot of emotions that maybe they haven't felt before, and new things. Nobody plans for a pandemic, so nobody knows how to like manage their way through it, or, you know, as a lot of people were saying at the time, like cope. It's just about being able to manage yourself, really. It's an opportunity to learn more about yourself, and also what's going on mentally for you. Like, what is your self-talk like? How are you feeling? Like, also all of that will affect your gut hugely. So, all right, I don't have any other questions. Everyone's got to go to work. That's awesome. I'm so happy that lots of people join me. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, you can reach out. I'll put the link for the Badass Boss Woman below this video, but look, you will find it everywhere else on my profile, in this group, on my Boss Woman page, and through my Instagram. If you have a read, if you have any questions, you can ask. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you got heaps out of it, and I will see you guys real soon. Have a great day. Bye.